Hello and welcome to Education at SSBJ online video tutorial. We are in chapter number 14, Chemical Effects of Electric Current of Class 8th CBSE. In the previous video tutorial, we have learnt about meaning of electricity, that electricity is a flow of charges. And in metals they are actually flow of electrons. And we have also seen that the electricity flows in metals, that is solids, as well as the liquids like salt water, tomato juice, onion juice, or even the soap water, but not in the pure water. Tap water, it allows the electricity, whereas distilled water, which is a pure form of water, is a bad conductor of electricity. And rest of the materials which we have used in our previous video, that is salt, tomato juice, onion juice, soap water, all they give, even the tap water, they provide an environment, for the charges to flow, and when the charges flow, we say that electricity is flown, and the medium is conductor of electricity. Right? We had started understanding the meaning of chemical effect. And what do we mean by chemical effect? Any effect which brings a chemical change is called chemical effect. What do you mean by chemical change then? Right? For example, let us take a hydrogen and oxygen. Simple equation I am writing. And a combination of hydrogen and oxygen will give rise to water. We all know that. It's a simple equation. If I can write this in using proper formulae and symbols, it can be like 2H2, which is hydrogen, 2 parts of hydrogen, plus 1 part of oxygen, this is oxygen, gives 2 parts of water. Right? This is a chemical reaction. What has happened here? Hydrogen molecule has its own property. Oxygen molecule has its own property. 2 of the different molecules combine to give another kind of molecule, which is called water. Right? A different substance is formed. When a different substance is formed, that is what is a chemical change or chemical effect. Okay. So the reaction which is shown here is a kind of chemical change. Right? It can even be, since it can even be a water which can split into hydrogen and oxygen. This is also a chemical change, because initially it was water, now it is split into hydrogen and oxygen. Now you have seen 2 equations. Okay, in first equation, water is split into hydrogen and oxygen. Right? This is one equation. Whereas reverse of this, hydrogen and oxygen combines to give water. Both are chemical changes. And why they are chemical changes? Because new substance is formed. Right? If this chemical change is brought into action by using current, right, then that effect is chemical effect of electric current. I hope you have understood what you mean by chemical effect. Now we shall see how this current brings a chemical effect in the substances. For this, we need to take a container made up of plastic or a glass, because they are bad conductors, insulators, okay, bad conductors of electricity. And at these 2 points we will fix 2 metal rods. Either you can take a metal rods or carbon rods, right? And why carbon rods? Carbon is also a good conductor of electricity. Either you can take a metal or carbon, right, or a graphite rod, okay, and then pour water inside. So let us pour a little bit more water and keep some 2 test tubes with us. They are test tubes, and these test tubes are to be arranged upside down over it. Now to fix them properly, we can have this kind of arrangement so that the test tube can stay firm over these carbon rods. Now the next move is that let us connect these 2 rods to the battery. As far as battery is concerned, we have a red color terminal and a black color terminal. A red color terminal is always a positive terminal and the black one is negative terminal, right? So every battery or every chemical cell which can be represented like this has got positive terminal as well as negative terminal. So if you actually see the battery, a red color symbol is for positive and the black one is for negative. Now we have to connect this. The moment you connect this, then you will find this is a positive terminal, right? And so this becomes a positive and this is negative terminal, this becomes a negative. So we can call it as positive electrode and this is negative electrode, right? So what we have done, we have taken water here, and what is water? Water is given a symbol H2O. It is made up of hydrogen as well as oxygen. Okay, in one molecule of water, 2 parts of hydrogen is there, whereas 1 part of oxygen is there. So you have many H2O molecules all over here, and then we are allowing electricity to pass through. So electrons will move from here, go here, and then enter into water. But if you take a pure water, it will not allow electricity. It's a bad conductor of electricity, and therefore we should not take a pure water in this. Let us take a tap water, or you add bit of salt or a acid into it. Then it becomes a good conductor of electricity. So what we have to do, take a tap water, water plus salt or water plus bit of acid to make it good conductor of electricity. Now, so then the electrons will move around and the circuit will be completed. Okay, in that case the water will allow the electricity. But remember, what happens at this moment is that water will split into hydrogen and oxygen, right? Hydrogen is a positively charged atom, whereas oxygen will be a negatively charged atom. Let us not go in detail about this. Why this has become a positive charge? Because it has lost some electrons. When the electrons are lost, then the atom becomes positive, and when the electrons are gained, then the atoms becomes negative. So what happens here? The moment H and O are separated into it. H is plus, O is minus, right? So you will find many H plus and many O minus. All these neutral molecules will split into a charged atoms which are called ions, right? So now H plus is an ion, O minus is an ion. Now remember what happens here is there are two electrodes here. We have positively charged electrode here. Here is the positively charged electrode, that is a rod, and here is the negatively charged electrode. That means this has got a positive charge, this has got a negative charge. We know that unlike charge attract, right? Unlike charge attract, therefore this will be attracted by the negative charge. And what is the negative charge? Oxygen. So oxygen, all that oxygen which are split in water will enter into the tube, and you will find bubbles entering inside the water, and finally oxygen is collected here. And since hydrogen is positive, it moves towards the negatively charged rod, and then the bubble formation starts here, and then hydrogen is collected here. Now what have we done? We have split a water molecule into hydrogen and oxygen by using what? By using electric current. Now, is it not a chemical change? Because new substances are formed. We have started with water, and we have taken hydrogen and oxygen in the test tubes. So new substances are formed, and this is what is a chemical change. And this chemical change is achieved by using current. Right? And this is one example of chemical effects of electricity. What will happen if we take a container not with water? We'll take some other liquid such as copper sulfate. I am writing a formula of that, copper sulfate, right? We'll take a copper sulfate. This is a formula, like how we have water is denoted by the formula H2O. The copper sulfate is denoted by this. Cu is for copper, sulfate is SO4, right? Now, copper sulfate is in a powder form. You have to add bit of water into it, right? Water is H2O. So it becomes a copper sulfate solution. Now suppose if we pass current into this copper sulfate solution, take a battery and connect it into a wire and take two rods, right? And then this is copper sulfate. What is going to happen? We have seen in a previous case of water, right? H2O could split into H and O, right? And then we have collected this separately into the test tubes. What is going to happen in this case? How can we use this demonstration as for our use? We shall see this in the next video tutorial. Thank you very much.